Introduction. Lists are a part of our everyday life. To-do lists are very common these days, and they help you set the priorities of tasks to be done. Other examples of lists are navigational routes, providing turn-by-turn lists of directions, and recipes providing lists of ingredients and lists of instructions. Let's discuss lists in HTML. List. HTML provides 3 different types of lists to choose from: unordered lists, ordered lists, description lists. Choosing which type of list to use or whether to use a list at all depends upon the content and the appropriate option for displaying that content. In addition to the 3 different types of lists available within HTML, there are multiple ways to style these lists with CSS. For example, we can choose what type of marker to use on a list. The marker could be square, round, numeric, alphabetical, or perhaps non-existent. Also, we can decide if a list should be displayed vertically or horizontally. All of these choices play significant roles in the styling of our web pages. Cool fact: lists are good from a structural point of view as they help create a well-structured and easy-to-maintain document. Unordered lists. An unordered list is a list of related items whose order does not matter. Creating an unordered list in HTML is accomplished using the unordered list block level element, UL. Each item within an unordered list is individually marked up using the list item element, LI. By default, most browsers add a vertical margin and left padding to the UL element and precede each LI element with a solid dot. This solid dot is called the list item marker, and it can be changed using CSS. The CSS list style type property is used to define the style of the list item marker. Value, description. Disk. It sets the list item marker to a bullet, default. Circle. It sets the list item marker to a circle. Square. It sets the list item marker to a square. None. The list items will not be marked. Consider the following HTML code. The output for the given code is ordered lists. An ordered list is a list of related items where the order in which the items are represented is important. The ordered list element, OL, works like the unordered list element only. Individual list items are created in the same manner. The main difference between an ordered list and an unordered list is that with an ordered list, the order in which items are presented matters. As the order matters, instead of using a dot as a default list item marker, an ordered list uses numbers. The type attribute of the OL tag defines the type of the list item marker. Value, description. Decimal, default. The list item will be orderly arranged with numbers, default. Upper alpha. The list items will be orderly arranged with uppercase letters. Lower alpha. The list items will be orderly arranged with lowercase letters. Upper Roman. The list items will be orderly arranged with uppercase Roman numbers. Lower Roman. The list items will be orderly arranged with lowercase Roman numbers. Consider the following HTML code. The output for the given code is description lists. Description lists are used to outline multiple terms and their descriptions, as in a glossary, for example. A description list may contain numerous terms and descriptions, one after the other. Additionally, a description list may have multiple terms per description, as well as multiple descriptions per term. Creating a description list in HTML is accomplished using the description list block level element, DL. Instead of using a li element to mark up list items, the description list requires two block-level elements, the description term element dt and the description element dd. When adding a description list, the dt element must come before the dd element. Thus, the order of these elements is important. By default, the DL element will include vertical margins, just like the UL and OL elements. Additionally, the DD element includes a left margin by default. Consider the following HTML code. The output for the given code is nested lists. One feature that makes lists extremely powerful is their ability to be nested. Every list may be placed within another list. They can be nested continually. While nesting lists, one must know where to begin and end each list and list item. To nest a list rather than closing a list item, begin a new list. Once the nested list is complete and closed, close the wrapping list item and continue on with the original list. Consider the following HTML code. The output for the given code is creating tables in HTML. As you know, tables help in organizing data in the form of rows and columns. They are commonly used to display tabular data like product listings, customers' details, financial reports, and so on. Let us learn how to create tables using HTML. You can create a table using the table element. Element use. Table creates the table itself. Caption gives a caption for the table. TR creates a table row. TH creates a table cell that is a header. TD creates a table cell that is data. Table attributes. Attribute, element or elements found on use. Call span TD extends a cell to be as wide as 2 or more cells. Row span TD extends a cell to be as tall as 2 or more cells. Span call makes a column apply to 2 or more columns. Headers TD space separated string corresponding to IDs of the TH elements relevant to the data. The following example demonstrates the most basic structure of a table. The output for the given example is creating borders for tables. Tables do not have any borders by default. You can use the CSS border property to add borders to the tables. Table cells are sized just to fit the contents by default. To add more space around the content in the table cells, you can use the CSS padding property. The following style rules add a 1 pixel border to a table and 10 pixels of padding to its cells. The output for the given example is by default, borders around tables and their cells are separated from each other, but you can collapse them into one by using the border collapse property on the table element. Also, text inside the TH elements are displayed in bold font and aligned horizontally center in the cell by default. To change the default alignment, you can use the CSS text align property. The following style rules collapse the table borders and align the table header text to left. The output for the given code is spanning multiple rows and columns. Spanning allows you to extend table rows and columns across multiple other rows and columns. Normally, a table cell cannot pass over into the space below or above another table cell, but you can use the row span or call span attribute to span multiple rows or columns in a table. Let's try out the following example to understand how call span basically works. The output for the given example is similarly, you can use the row span attribute to create a cell that spans more than one row. Let's try out another example to understand how row spanning basically works. The output for the given example is adding captions to tables. You can specify a caption or title for your tables using the caption element. The caption element must be placed directly after the opening table tag. By default, the caption appears at the top of the table, but you can change its position using the CSS caption side property. The following example shows how to use this element in a table. The output of the given example is